on. That's what he's done, because he is slightly worried, slightly, I think, being the right word, about how his rear tyre will be when it comes towards the end of the race. He's building up the sort of advantage so that it probably won't matter.
Yeah, he's going to cross the line to complete lap 4, Nick, probably with a 2.5 second lead over Cal Crutchlow. This is the aerial view of the battle for second. It is indeed a 2.5 second lead for Marc Marquez on lap 5. Crutchlow still holding second from Andrea Dovizioso and Andrea Iannone. Rossi still trying to get by Jorge Lorenzo for 5th place.
Would you expect, Dylan, for the Yamahas with that extra hard option to come strong towards the end of the race, because it's all the just hard option people in front of them?
I think you certainly would. I think the main problem is they need to make sure that they manage that tyre, because you also don't know how the guys are going to be managing the hard. It also depends on what's going to happen with track temperature. Last year, towards the end of the race, there was some what they call blistering in the tyres. Now, obviously, Bridgestone would have worked to make sure that doesn't happen, but of course, it's very, very tough under a race situation. But you would certainly think that the Yamahas would have an advantage. You just don't know at which point that's going to kick in. It might be too late.
Well, almost too late for Valentino Rossi. He's trying to get past Jorge Lorenzo, but he is not finding it easy.
Well, think of the difference between those guys is Lorenzo is on the medium front, Rossi on the hard front. So you'd imagine Rossi will definitely try and do so under the brakes. He should have a small advantage there.
That's exactly what he's been trying to do. You've got to say, Lorenzo's rode pretty robustly in front of him, not to let him through.
He had a little look up the inside of Lorenzo at turn 5 in the braking zone. This is the flick through turn 11. Lorenzo still holding 5th place. Rossi really closing up, though, through that fast left-hander. Will Rossi have a look up the inside now at turn 12? Maybe a little bit too far back to attack on this lap. He is indeed.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be the flick it left now through 14. They come over actually the start and finish over the finish line, actually still cranked over. 20 laps to go here in Argentina. Marc Marquez clearing off at the front, but there is just a little doubt, and a little doubt it is about rear tyre choice. We'll only find out when we get into those grey areas, perhaps with 5 laps remaining. In the meantime, he is just going to open up a bigger and bigger advantage at the front as we ride with Rossi, with Lorenzo in front of him.
This is Valentino Rossi in 6th place now, accelerating through turn 4. All the way up to 6th gear, about 210 miles an hour. All the way down this back straight. Jorge Lorenzo, his teammate, in front of him. That's Cal Crutchlow in 2nd place at the moment, keeping those 2 Ducatis at bay right now. Dovizioso, Crutchlow runs it a little bit wide, though, in turn 5. Gave the opportunity for Dovizioso to close right back up as they flick it left through 6.
Rossi all over the rear wheel of Lorenzo, but not able to get through yet. Just a little mistake there from Crutchlow, and it did bring the 2 Ducatis, as you can see, Dovizioso and Iannone closer. Here comes Rossi. This time Rossi is through at turn 7.
Valentino Rossi, you can see they're already having big movement on the rear tyres, on that extra hard Bridgestone rear tyre, of course. All of the riders in front of him are on the hard option, that's the softer option. So Rossi finally through on Jorge Lorenzo now. Next in his sights is Andrea Iannone, who's currently running in 4th.
Down towards turns 12 and 13. Crutchlow 2nd, there's Dovizioso and Iannone, so the 2 Ducatis hounding the Honda. Marquez, well, he's crossed the line already. Let's see what the advantage is. 3.2 seconds already, and we still have 19 laps remaining.
Crutchlow, Dovizioso, Iannone, Alex Espargaro's dropped back off that lead group. Down in 7th place is the Spaniard.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision, this tyre choice. And further down the field, it's paying off as well. Bradley Smith is starting to make a vote, and we have major problems here for Petrucci or Hernandez.
That's Johnny Hernandez. You can see there, that bike of his, that Ducati, is on fire. He had no idea, Johnny Hernandez, as he tipped it through that fast turn 3. He'll have to jump off that as quickly as he can. He had no idea, did Hernandez, that his bike was on fire. Started smoking as he came out of turn 1, and then he went through turn 3. We could see flames pouring out of the belly pan of that Pramac Ducati, and Hernandez doing the right thing, jumping off, getting off the racing line. It's going to be interesting to see if there's been any oil dropped through that first sector by Hernandez.
That is the worry, isn't it? What caused that? Is there any oil being dropped? And he had to abandon the bike quickly. He didn't want to, but he had to. Look at that gap progression for Marc Marquez. It's an enormous lead. Right, let's have a look at things once again. This is Crutchlow, there is Dovizioso, there is Iannone. Again, Crutchlow just runs it a tiny tad bit wide, and there obviously is fire extinguisher on the Pramac Ducati of Yoni Hernandez.
Marquez across the line now. He'll be going through the first corner. This is where Yoni Hernandez's Ducati engine let go, so we'll hope, fingers crossed, that there's no oil been dropped on the track. This is Cal Crutchlow going through the second corner. We ride on board with Andrea Dovizioso. Marquez in front of him, just going through that second corner. You can see Crutchlow runs it a little bit wide at turn 2. Has that let Dovizioso come through? It certainly has. Crutchlow drops back a place into third.
He's had a few problems, hasn't he, in the last couple of laps, Cal Crutchlow. Can't believe that's tyre problems already, but Dovizioso is past him. There is Marquez backing it into 5. Then we have Dovizioso, Crutchlow. Closing up all the time on Andrea Iannone is Valentino Rossi. Then we have Lorenzo, Alessio Spargo, Bradley Smith up into 8th, Petrucci 9th, and Paul Espargaro in 10th. Redding, Bradle, Vinales, Jack Miller, some points for him in 14th. Hector Barbera in 15th place. Hayden, Baz, Lafferty, De Meglio, Oyama in 20th. Batista, Abraham, Melandri, and De Angelis. One man out, Yoni Hernandez with the Ducati on fire.
Just saw a replay there of Cal Crutchlow, just running in a bit too hot at the second corner. Let Andrea Dovizioso move up into second place. Thankfully, all the riders got through the first sector without any problem, so no lubricant dropped on the circuit, hopefully by Yoni Hernandez's Pramac Ducati. It was a spectacular mechanical failure. Flames pouring out the side of that belly pan, as we saw. But it's Dovizioso now in second place. 3.5 seconds back, though, of Marquez as they come through the final corner.